right, let's dive in. Today,
Mm.
we're heading to, well, I guess not literally heading, but we're talking about Morocco.
Sounds good.
We've got this amazing piece, and it's really making the case for Morocco being one of those beautiful places on Earth. So buckle up. We're about to explore some stunning landscapes, vibrant cities, and a culture that honestly just seems incredibly welcoming.
Yeah, reading through this, I was really struck by, it doesn't just talk about the sights, it's about the whole experience.
Exactly. It's like they want you to feel like you're actually there. So
Yeah.
what really jumped out at you when we were going through the source material?
Well, honestly, the landscapes. You can go from the Atlas Mountains with snow-capped peaks
Wow.
to the Sahara Desert, like all in a matter of days.
The variety, right?
Yeah, the contrast, it's just fascinating.
Okay, so let's start with those Atlas Mountains. The source specifically mentions Toubkal, which is,
North Africa's highest peak.
yeah, pretty impressive, right?
Mhm.
But it's not just about the mountains themselves. What else did the source highlight about the region?
Well, they talk about these Berber villages.
Yeah.
Like nestled right into the mountains. And it just made me think about how, like, for centuries, people have lived there. Their culture is so connected to the landscape.
They're known for their hospitality.
Absolutely.
I've heard that.
And, like, beautiful textiles they make. So imagine, like, you're trekking through these mountains, you come across a village, you meet these people who've lived this way for, hundreds of years.
A whole different side of Morocco.
It goes beyond just the views.
Okay, but speaking of incredible views, we have to talk about the Sahara Desert.
Yes.
The source talks about Mertuga and these giant sand dunes, and you can actually stay overnight in a desert camp. I mean, come on.
Right, and just picture, like, you're out in the middle of the Sahara, nothing around you but sand, and then the sun sets, you get those unbelievable colors, orange, pink,
Wow.
and then the stars come out. Apparently, it's one of the best places in the world for stargazing.
It does sound amazing, but I mean, it's still the desert, right?
Yeah.
It's harsh.
Oh, absolutely.
The source doesn't shy away from that.
No, it's not at all.
Hmm.
But, like, that's part of what makes it so amazing. You see how life has adapted to this super challenging environment. Like the nomadic Berber people, they've been crossing the Sahara for centuries. And the plants and animals that survive there are just incredible.
It's a reminder of just how resilient nature can be.
Totally.
Okay, so we've gone from the heights of the Atlas Mountains to the vastness of the Sahara Desert.
We're going to the coast now.
Exactly, to the coast. The source mentions both the wild Atlantic beaches of Essaouira
Yeah.
and the more secluded coves of the Mediterranean.
Mhm.
What can someone expect from a coastal experience in Morocco?
Well, it really depends what you're looking for. Like, Essaouira on the Atlantic side is great for windsurfing.
Oh, cool.
And it has this kind of like bohemian feel. It's really laid back. Plus, they've got this old Portuguese fortress overlooking the ocean.
That sounds pretty amazing.
It is. And then you've got Tetuan on the Mediterranean. It's a bit more off the beaten path, like little hidden coves and beaches, perfect for swimming, relaxing.
So, mountains, desert, coast.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Don't forget about the valleys and oases.
Ah,
Like the Dades Valley, the Todra Gorge. They're like these hidden paradises. You've got lush palm groves, these incredible rock formations.
It's like something out of a movie.
And they actually played a really important role in Morocco's history as stopping points along ancient trade routes. Just imagine, like caravans coming through these oases centuries ago.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So after all those amazing landscapes, let's say you're ready for a little city life, right?
Right.
The source highlights 4 cities that each offer something completely different.
Yes.
Where should we start?
Well, we have to start with Marrakech. It's called the Pearl of the South for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Morocco that most people picture.
The source talks about the bustling souks,
Yeah, the souks.
the traditional ryads,
Yes.
and of course, the Jama El Fiana Square. It all sounds, honestly, a bit overwhelming.
Oh, it is. But in the best way possible. The souks are these, like, labyrinthine markets. You can find anything there. Spices, textiles, jewelry, leather goods. And the sights, the sounds, the smells, it's just intoxicating.
I can only imagine.
Then you've got the ryads, which are these traditional houses built around a courtyard. They're like a little oasis of peace in the middle of all the chaos.
Okay, so what about that Jama El Fiana Square? It seems like that's a must-see.
It absolutely is. The source describes it as like a nightly spectacle. Music, food, storytelling.
Really?
Yeah. It's where everyone comes together, locals, tourists, everyone. You've got street performers, storytellers, food vendors. It's pure sensory overload.
I'm adding that to the list.
Mm.
Okay, so from the energy of Marrakech
We're going to Fez.
to Fez, which is described as a city steeped in history. The source actually calls Fez's Medina a living labyrinth of culture. What makes it so unique?
Well, Fez's Medina is one of the oldest and largest in the world. Yeah, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Just picture, like, narrow alleyways winding all over the place, filled with shops, workshops, mosques, homes, everything.
Right.
It's like time has stood still there. You can just wander for hours, getting lost in the sights, the smells, discovering hidden courtyards, and, like, these amazing architectural details everywhere you look.
Okay, next up, we're off to Chef Choan, the Blue City. I mean, I've seen pictures,
Right.
but it's hard to believe a place like that actually exists.
It is truly magical. The source describes these narrow alleyways, but they're all painted blue.
I love that.
It's just so serene and picturesque. You know, there are different theories about why it's blue. Some say to ward off evil spirits. Others say it represents the sky and heaven.
Interesting.
Whatever the reason, it's just breathtaking.
And finally, the source brings us to Casablanca and Rabat, which are described as representing a more modern side of Morocco.
Exactly. Casablanca is this bustling metropolis, modern architecture mixed with Art Deco.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And then it's also got the Hassan II Mosque, one of the biggest mosques in the world. And get this, part of it is actually built over the ocean.
Over the ocean. Wow.
It's this incredible feat of engineering. And then Rabat, the capital city, is known for its gardens, its museums, its historical landmarks. It gives you a real sense of Morocco's royal heritage.
So we've talked landscapes, we've talked cities, but what about the people? What about the culture? The source really emphasizes the warmth of Moroccan hospitality. What does that actually look like?
Well, hospitality is really deeply rooted in Moroccan culture. It's about welcoming people into your home, offering them mint tea and pastries, engaging in conversation.
It's making people feel welcome.
Exactly, making people feel comfortable and valued.
And the source also points out that Moroccan culture is a fusion of all these different influences.
Oh, yeah. Over the centuries, Morocco has been shaped by Berber, Arab, Andalusian, and African cultures. And you see this in the music, the art, the architecture, and especially the food.
Oh, speaking of food,
Mm-hmm.
the source mentioned tagine, couscous, méchoui. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Moroccan food is all about those bold flavors and aromas. Tagine, which is a slow-cooked stew made in this special conical clay pot, is a national dish. Then there's couscous, made from steamed semolina. And we can't forget about the pastries, like the source mentioned gazelle horns, which are these little crescent-shaped cookies filled with almond paste.
Okay, I need to try those. And of course, there's the famous Moroccan mint tea.
Right. Which
Yeah.
is more than just a drink. It's like a ritual, a symbol of hospitality shared throughout the day.
Sounds amazing. Now, the source also highlights Moroccan craftsmanship,
Oh, yeah.
like handmade carpets, pottery, and lanterns. What makes them so special?
Well, it's generations of tradition and skill. A lot of these crafts are passed down through families, so the techniques, the designs, they're preserved over centuries. The carpets, for example, are known for their intricate patterns, vibrant colors.
They're really works of art.
They really are.
Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about the historical and spiritual side of Morocco. The source mentions the Roman ruins of Volubilis, the majestic Casbahs, and of course, the splendor of Morocco's mosques.
Yeah, great picks.
What stood out to you about those?
Well, Volubilis is fascinating because it gives you this glimpse into Morocco's Roman past.
Oh, wow.
And it's incredibly well preserved. You can really picture what life was like there all those years ago. And then the Casbahs are just like this testament to Moroccan architectural ingenuity. Like 8 Ben Haddou, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, these fortified villages built from adobe brick, just blending right into the desert landscape.
And then there are the mosques. The source specifically mentioned the Hassan II Mosque in Casablanca,
Oh, yeah.
which is like this modern marvel of Islamic architecture.
Right on the Atlantic coast. It's a stunning structure. And it really is a symbol of Morocco's Islamic faith and like a testament to the country's architectural prowess.
So after this whirlwind tour, this deep dive into Morocco, it's pretty clear,
It's so much more than just a pretty place.
right? It's a country of contrasts.
Yeah.
With something for everyone.
Exactly. Whether you're drawn to nature, vibrant cities, rich history, warm hospitality, you name it, Morocco has it. And it's the kind of place that stays with you long after you leave.
All right, so I have to ask, what aspect of Morocco really calls to you the most? Would you be getting lost in the souks of Marrakech, trek through the Atlas Mountains, or maybe stargazing in the Sahara Desert?
That's a tough one, honestly. I think what really draws me in is the chance to experience that Moroccan hospitality firsthand. It just sounds so genuine and welcoming.
That's a perfect way to end this. Morocco is a place that invites you to connect, to experience, to create your own story. So go forth, intrepid listeners, and discover the magic of Morocco for yourselves.
Safe travels.